Let's take a look at your odds to win the national championship for 2016-2017 season. Brought to you by OffshoreInsiders.com, the top sports betting website in the world for football, college, and pro for all sports. www.offshoreinsiders.com. You can see that the participants in the last two national championship games are the favorites. At the top, Alabama at 7-1, the team they beat last year at 15-2, and the national championship from the 2015 season, the 2014-15 season, Ohio State is also at 15-2. Looks like the odds makers are saying that Ohio State and Michigan rivalry is back to being one of the best in sports, as Michigan is next at 8-1. Then you see a fellow SEC team, LSU, Florida State, etc. Independent Notre Dame is at 18-1. Again, all these odds are brought to you by your top sports betting website in the world, OffshoreInsiders.com. You do see a couple more teams from the SEC, Pac-12. Baylor, despite all the uncertainty they've had in the offseason with Art Briles and the scandals, they're still listed as, a somewhat long shot, but not necessarily a big long shot at 35-1. Georgia, a lot of people think that they could be the best long shot there from the SEC with Jacob Eason, the prize quarterback, and maybe with Nick Chubb if he is healthy. Georgia, a lot of sharp people think they are the best long shot on the board. And, of course, Ole Miss with their share of some scandals and controversy in the offseason as well. OffshoreInsiders.com. On Twitter is at OffshoreInsider. There you can see the Pac-12 putting a few teams in the next group of favorites, or they're in reality kind of getting into the long shots here. Texas A&M, how the mighty have fallen loose in all their five-star recruits. They are at 65-1. But again, you do want to follow, if you want to win this football season, make sure you follow us at Offshore Insider for all the latest breaking news on Twitter. Also on OffshoreInsiders.com is the Master Luck Line, which is the power of 620 sports services behind each and every play. And yes, the Master Luck Line goes back to the old 976 Lock Line days on the score phones of 1980. Can Miami, with a new coach, finally turn it around? Arkansas, one of those teams that's been competitive in a lot of their losses. Maybe they are a good long shot. And Texas, another team. Can they finally have their breakout year under Charlie Strong after winning the big game in the Red River rivalry last year? And now we really get to some of the deep long shots. But again, always remember that OffshoreInsiders.com, handicappers on OffshoreInsiders.com, they were scouted from a lot of other websites going back to the days of the free scoreboard websites. And like I said, most of the handicappers go back to the score phone days. And of course, as we said, the Master Lock Line will give you the best of the rest. But OffshoreInsiders.com is your place you got to visit every single day before placing a bet. www.offshoreinsiders.com, getting every single details. Now we're going into the big long shots to win the national title. Penn State has had a little bit to rally around over the years, but they're a long shot. South Carolina bringing in a new era, also a long shot. California losing their star quarterback Jared Goff at 400-1. And again, we'll see. I guess after in Great Britain, when you had the long shot win the first division there, anything's possible, but I wouldn't expect any of these teams that we're seeing now to really make much of a run at the national championship. But hey folks, I'm Joe Duffy, and actually I go back to 1988 on the score phones, and you can get my picks, the industry standard, exclusively at OffshoreInsiders.com. And we do have people during football season around the clock working customer service if you have any questions. Hopefully by the time a lot of you see this, or a new website delayed, but we're going to have a new website this upcoming football season for the 2016-2017 college football season. So if you haven't visited us in a while, a lot more flexibility and more at OffshoreInsiders.com. And these are the teams that have almost no chance, maybe if we were talking about college basketball, some of these teams. Look, Temple had a nice Cinderella year last year, but the odds makers not giving them much of a chance to build on their success. And Duke, after having a couple of years of respectability, the odds makers are obviously giving them almost no chance. Illinois, another team that has had more than their share of controversy and scandal and whatnot. They are among the teams that are at 2,001. And Indiana, a team that's never really all that competitive in college football. Maybe gave some teams a scare during the Antoine Randall L era, but they are pretty much a doormat in college football. The odds makers say that this year is going to be more of the same. But remember, for all the winning picks and the best sports information and the hottest picks around, www.offshoreinsiders.com.